It is the Generation 1 diversionary tactician known as Smokescreen. Mint in sealed box. However, despite appearances, this is a counterfeit. This is not one that was released back in 1985. But it is a beautiful box, and it is one of those Chinese counterfeits that usually has the same quality as the original G1. And of course, there are differences in the packaging and the inserts that help you tell that it's a counterfeit, which I will mention. But still, it's a great way to inexpensively fill in your G1 collection. I'm going to break this guy out, go through him bit by bit, see if the quality is there, and see if this is something you might want to get for your G1 counterfeit collection. Be right back. So this is an amazingly beautiful box, and it looks virtually identical to the original G1. It's got the Series 2 artwork with Jetfire and Dinobots and all these wonderful battles in space, but there are a few things you can do to tell that this is not a G1 original. And it almost pains me to break this out, but I'm going to do it for you guys and because I want to play with them. But one thing that you can notice is that there are no stickers on the toy itself inside the packaging. Generally, and I'm hoping that this is the case, what they do is they include the factory stickers separately, not applied. They also include a rub sign. And that's one way you can tell that this is a counterfeit reissue. There is no 38 currently on Smokescreen. So let's carefully cut him out of this package. And yes, I'm gonna be a little more careful with this because it's a beautiful box. I actually got this one through eBay, which I'll put a link to, but you can also get them through AliExpress. And certain sellers apparently are very happy to provide good packaging. So this is in great shape. The box is beautiful. I'm gonna keep the box. Inside, you also have the accessories, which are his shoulder cannons, which are bright white. His missiles, which are not on a sprue, that's another way you can tell. It's got his gun, but they're all nicely chromed. And he does have an instruction book that looks like the G1. So I'm just gonna pop this open before we get to the figure. I'm not gonna need the instructions because I know how to transform a Smokescreen, but I do wanna see what is included because usually in here, there are stickers. And it would appear that it does have the factory stickers, which I will put on probably in an episode of Sticker Shock. And it's important when you do that to actually look at reference pictures of the original because there's no instructions on where to put the factory stickers. It does have the regular stickers as well, and a rub sign. Very small, itsy bitsy rub sign that you can put on if you so choose. Now this was Series 2 of G1, so they had rub signs on them. So putting the rub signs on makes sense. And it was even in a comic book that Smokescreen had a rub sign because something about Cybertron, the war was over, and if you were secretly an Autobot, you had to have a rub sign in order to show that. But nice instruction book, looks like the original. I'm gonna put that aside, I don't need it for now. You know, I'll need it maybe for the stickers later. We'll put the accessories aside for the moment. We'll put these stickers with the instruction book. And it does have a text spec decoder because there is a text spec on the back. Talks about him as a diversionary tactician. A look can be deceiving, a touch can be lethal. That's not how we talk. Not even trying to do hey Autobot. No, can't even do a Smokescreen impression. But I do know he's got a gambling problem. He doesn't know when to quit, and then he gets caught. And not only does he like to gamble, he likes to cheat with his special connection. But he was the Autobot that ended up meeting up with Devcon, who is a cool character who appeared in one episode and now, you know, has a toy. One of these days I have to read all the IDW comics and some of the new Skybound stuff and all that, because I know that some of the lesser used characters were expanded upon in there. I don't know if Devcon was, but I wouldn't be surprised. So here he is, he feels nice and die-cast. Put him right on the turntable of doom and zoom in, and he looks like Smokescreen, albeit a little naked. But who doesn't like being naked now and then? All right, shut up, Logan. So looking at him, he does look like a very, very minty sports car. His doors open, which, you know, is also part of the transformation. And it gives him wings, like Red Bull. Taking a look at it, it looks good. The fists are not plugged in to the posts on his shoulders. So I'm gonna fix that right now because I gotta turn this fist. And having those fists plugged in, I believe, helps align the wheels for better rolling, because there will be a roll test. All right, there he is. The nice clear windows in the back. No windows for the doors, clear windshield. He's got screws that you normally don't see because there is a sticker that usually goes right over there. So as I mentioned in the sticker shock videos, G1, some of the stickers were designed to just cover over unsightly screws and screw holes. And that's definitely the case there. Underside looks pretty normal. He's got this piece that locks his groin into place, so we'll be manipulating that later, playing with his groin. I'm sorry, man. Can I get some consent? All right, let's check out the roll test. Pretty much G1 in rolling. A little squeaky. You can probably hear it through the microphone, but still, I'm not going to exactly roll him around a lot, but he looks good. You can see him from all sides there. The tires are definitely rubber. So again, one way you can tell that this is a counterfeit is the lack of factory stickers. No rub sign, no factory stickers, but luckily they've come with this toy so we can put them on a bit later. Another thing that you can tell is there are no reinforcements from Cybertron or robot points offers in with the paperwork, so just another indicator. I will say once I put the stickers on him, he will probably be virtually indistinguishable from the actual real G1. And I urge you, if you have any honesty in your body, do not buy one of these and make him look good and then try to sell him off as a original G1. That is just not fair to anybody. Now he does have on his bottom, and it's kind of hard to see, but there is the imprint, which has the copyright date. Now a lot of the reissues that Hasbro put out had the updated date. This one says 1980, 1984 Hasbro. It's actually upside down from my perspective. So it does actually look like, and it says Japan 1980, 1982, copyright Takara Company Limited. So it looks like from inspection that it is an original G1. Again, I urge you, don't be a dick. Don't do that to your fellow collectors. Don't pretend this is the real deal when it's not. All right, but that's pretty much all we can look at in the vehicle mode. It is a nice vehicle, but let's get him into his robot mode. Now I'll even show the transformation. I'm gonna back this up a little bit. So we open up the wheels, we pull back on the back part of the car, and we swing this up. And these actually are a little stiff. So these windows are supposed to move up a little bit. And I'm being careful because this is a knockoff, counterfeit, whatever you want to call it. And I would hate to break it. But once you flip those up, you should be able to pull the feet apart. A little stiff, but that locks them into place for standing. Now, one of the problems that we had back in the old days, back in the 80s, was this windshield breaking off. So just be careful. You don't put a lot of pressure. The windshield is only attached to this piece, which also has his head there, but you'll find a lot of roofless smoke screens and prowls and blue streaks. So you pop his fists off the posts on his shoulders if they are thusly attached, they should be. Rotate up and then pull out. Now, this piece here, if you do it a lot, I mean, it kind of can wear on the paint, so well, if you're an adult collector and you're really into G1, you're more than likely not going to be rubbing it too much, so okay, never mind. Adults and rubbing. This piece also flips up here. It's kind of his crotch lock, and you can turn the entire top. Hey, just in time. Did you want to help? You push his crotch lock back down. I hope you can see despite the cat. So you push that back down, and you flip this whole thing forward. So the bumper becomes his chest. This back piece, now it does have some metal pieces on the doors for a little flexibility, so you want to kind of make sure that those are out of the way. But you push that down, make sure the wings are out, make sure his fists are forward, and there he is in all his glory. Thanks for the cameo, Sky. Now, I do have to make an adjustment. One of his fists is reversed. Now, his fists do twist, so he does not have a ton of articulation. The legs now are locked into place. The head doesn't turn. It can kind of nod a little bit. The wings, you can adjust a little bit there. The arms, you can bend at the elbow. You can move it out to the side and up. And his fist on this side is also reversed, so I'll fix that. And it wasn't quite all the way up, so I pushed a little bit more. You can kind of turn it all the way around. You just got to be aware that this wheel can be in the way. The wheel is kind of his shoulder, or the back of his shoulder. So, hey, I might have, this was the right way the first time. So you want to have the wheels in the back. There will be stickers that go on his upper arms that cover that wonderful screw hole there. Again, stickers to cover sins. So that's all the poseability. Let's outfit him with his weaponry. Now, again, another way you can tell this is not an original is the weapons are not on a sprue. I found it very interesting that when I got the counterfeit reissue Metroplex, the missiles were not on the sprue, but when I got a knockoff of Metroplex, which was much cheaper, the missiles were on a sprue. Weird. So his shoulder cannons, or shoulder missile launchers, you load up the missile. Now, if you have a little trouble pushing the missile in, again, shut up, Logan, you can press down on the trigger and that gets it in. And if you press down, it will fly out because these are made in the spirit of the original Japanese ones. So therefore the missile launchers work a lot better, which can be not so good for cat owners. Little post on the side, plugs into the side of his head. Same thing with the other one. And you do have the one extra missile, so that's nice. So there are his shoulder mounted missiles. And then you put the gun, of course, in his fist, which has a little hole for that purpose. Seems a little tight, but it goes in. And there you go. You have him with his missile launchers. You have him with his gun. You have an extra missile put aside. Now, I will say that the joints in the elbows seem a little loose, not as tight as I might like, but you can still point it forward and it's fine. And there he is from all angles. Just even out his wings a little bit. Now, he's gonna look even better with the stickers on him. I'm not a big fan of stickers. I am doing the sticker shock because I need to put the stickers on it anyway. Want to share with you. I may include some additional trivia to make it more interesting because my first one, some people found it a little long and boring. Some people loved it. You know, it's all a matter of taste, but I'm gonna try to jazz them up. I'm not gonna just bring jazz in, that would be kind of dumb. But there he is. Now, in some of the later versions of this character, the tires might fold underneath. That does not happen here, so he's kind of got a little bit of a roller derby type thing there. But there he is. He is Smokescreen. Again, no stickers yet, but we will get there. And I think overall, other than a little bit of looseness, and it's not even that big of a deal, in his elbows, and it was a little stiff, but again, it's right out of the box. So the more you transform him carefully, the looser the transformation movements will become, and he should be perfectly fine. He is going to go on my shelf after I sticker him up, as I am reorganizing everything into chronological order, so he will go on the G1 shelf. He'll probably be on the first or the second shelf. I need to get all my G1s back eventually, but it's going to take years, and I'll probably die before it happens, but I'm going to try. But there he is again. Now, he cost me on eBay 300,000 yen. No, for all I know, he could have. He was $51.99. There was tax, because that's how the world works. There was no shipping costs. It was free. $55.43 total. I will put a link to eBay. You can find this seller, which I'll put the name of, because again, it came very nicely protected in the package. But you can also go with another seller and you might get a couple bucks off. I'll also put a link to AliExpress where you can get them as well. And they all run about the same price, but definitely a cool version, the original version of Smokescreen. I had one of his legs not quite aligned, but he looks really good. The quality, the die-cast parts are there. He feels like an original, so I like him. And he's about 4 1/4 inches tall. So even though he's not a Legends or a Core Class, you know, he's a deluxe of his time, he's actually pretty short. And I did a Dotson Brothers review, and they had a Smokescreen in there who was only slightly smaller, maybe 1/4 inch. So if you're wondering how they scale with, you know, in the Chug universe, I mean, pretty close to those. I think maybe compared to the classic, you'll find him a little shorter, but that's the G1. And if you have the new one, I think this is Earthrise or something like that. Again, he's a little bit shorter, but that is G1. G1s were not as big as you thought, unless you're Maximal and Beast Wars, and then they're fucking huge. So that is Smokescreen. A counterfeit, but for G1 purposes, if you just want the toys and you're not worried about, you know, whether or not it's a genuine product that's 39 years old, maybe more, judging by the copyright stamp, then it's fine. I think he's going to make a fun addition to my collection. And speaking of fun, I really hope you're enjoying these videos and having fun watching them. As much fun as I have making them, because obviously I like Transformers a whole lot. And while you're mulling over this guy and deciding if you want to add him to your G1 collection, you can check out this video over here, which is actually a review of a counterfeit version of Jazz. If you're enjoying this content, please feel free to subscribe, but most of all, I'd like you to have fun and good hunting.